The other day, I was just asking myself, are things really tough for everyone? Because it seems from the people who are running business, if there's someone who is running any business here, it seems things are so thick in terms of economy everywhere in Africa. And for people living in Kenya, they know the struggle. And I believe this replicates across Africa, from South Africa, Zimbabwe, Zambia, Tanzania, Kenya, Uganda, Ghana, Nigeria. All those countries, I know the struggle is the same because the world economy right now is being controlled maybe from different centers, and that is why sometimes back some countries came together and they were trying to de-dollarize the economy, because the dollar has been used as a weapon for different things to control the economy of different countries in the world. And that is why these countries, I believe it's BRICS, they were trying to detach themselves from the dollar, but it hasn't been easy because the world economy is reliant or dependent on the US dollar. So I believe this struggle is across the African countries, and especially the world, the second world, because that is where the effects of globalization they are felt, either bad or good, and mostly the bad are the ones which are felt by countries in the global south. So the other day I was struggling to understand, are things really thick for everyone? Because when I visit especially the food joints and the supermarkets and the stores and the outlets, I'm seeing people pushing the big trolleys, carrying different types of food, luxuries and different things. So I was not able to understand, is it that just that who is it me who is feeling the hardship, and not everyone who is feeling the hardship? Because the kind of shoppings, the kind of foods people are eating in these eateries, and food is not cheap in those places. You can go as much as 20 US dollars per person. So you'd imagine how much that money is if you spend that money on a day-to-day basis. So that led me to think you might be struggling alone and thinking that everybody is struggling to make a living. But the truth is that there are people who are doing so well, and I wonder how this disparity comes about, whereby one person is struggling, or few people are struggling, most people are struggling, and there are few who are doing so well and purchasing high-end cars. If you go to these yards, for example, the car yards in different towns, different cities, and especially in Nairobi, if you go along Kiambu Road, for those people who come from Kenya, you'll see there are so many high-end cars which are being sold there, and they are being bought day in, day out. And we are here complaining that things are so tough for everyone. This is, in my thinking, I'm thinking it's as a result of disparity and sometimes underhand deals which bring this economic disparity in a certain country. And this brings me to a certain story. Sometimes back I was running a business which is a delivery business, food delivery business, and I was the one who was doing the deliveries that day. And I managed to visit. I managed to enter into a house of one client. I will not name names because of client privacy. I entered into a home of one client, and what I saw led me to start thinking that we are living a lie, and that is because I found the client counting millions and millions and millions and millions of money stashed in bags and gunny bags and boxes, and that was a lady, and a Kenyan lady, and that lady was married to someone from a Western African country, and I couldn't help to think with my biased mind where they get that money, but the scent in that house was of an illegal drug. I'm not going to mention it in this video, and I believe that those were people who are dealing in such illegal items. And this is happening in different ways. People doing different ways to earn money and coming online to portray themselves as people who are doing genuine business. On the side, they have a genuine business which is used to cover the underhand deals which they get into. Once they do, maybe they do drugs smuggling, people trafficking, what else? Money laundering, different things, credit card, whatever they call it. What do they call it? You can tell us in the comment section. Whatever they call it, it's called credit card scam, and this being done across the world by different people. And if you don't want to understand how credit card scam happens, you can go to YouTube and search for Hush Puppy and the story about around Hush Puppy, how he used to portray such an opulent kind of lifestyle, but he was getting this money from a credit card scam in an international scale, and unfortunately there were Kenyans involved and other Africans involved in the scam. So this is the reason why I'm saying I'm confused, because you might think that everybody is struggling, and not everybody is struggling. There are also people who are doing a lot of corruption and building mansions, big houses, especially retail, alcohol retail centers, and they are spread across the country in different places. You'll see those the kind of money which has been used to build that premise and run it is more than the amount of money they are earning in that business. This is purely money laundering. It's happening, we know, and I know people usually refuse to accept it. And this brings me to the other point. If you are struggling and someone comes and tells you they want to show you a certain business which does not require you to be involved on an online kind of money making scheme, people are finding themselves getting into these schemes without knowing, whereby you will be the person who is at the front while them are there at the back. And most of this is about you being asked to bring maybe your credit card details. Money will come into your account. Out of the money I'm going to get, I'm going to give you a percentage, maybe 10%, maybe 20%. And the kind of money which comes into your account is not a small money. It's billions and billions of money, or millions and millions of dollars coming into your account, and you are just told to take a percentage. What happens when the FBI, when the Interpol starts tracking this money, it will be traced to you, and you'll be the person who will be taken into account. You are the person who is going to be arrested for money laundering, for credit card scam, because maybe this is money which someone was scammed, maybe using a credit card scam, which happens across Africa. We know what happens, and we know we know the countries where this is rampant, and mostly in West Africa, unfortunately. And we also that has also started happening in Kenya, whereby there are guys who are sitting in a certain town, maybe Molot, maybe different countries, maybe also some of them sitting in different prisons across the country, maybe mostly the maximum security facilities, and they are doing credit card scamming and using you as the face. So when the time comes for the arrest, you're the person who is going to be arrested. So just be careful whatever you do, despite the fact that we know everybody is trying to make a better living, but try as much as possible not to get into these scams, whereby you find yourself being investigated by the FBI, being investigated by Interpol, being investigated by the local police, the DCI, and you're not able to exonerate yourself because you are the center, you are the face, and you didn't know what was happening, and you managed to buy yourself cars which are then repossessed during the investigation, and eventually you can easily be imprisoned. So this brings me to the other point. Once you go to these rural towns, rural places, sorry, you find that there are so many young people doing honest work. But what brings this? What I wondered is that if you give these young people work to do for you, real work, they don't want to work. I don't know where they're getting this money. I don't know where they're getting money to purchase motorbikes, money to do other things. Whereas if you give them some work, they don't want to do that kind of work. I don't know whether it's equalization or what is happening. You can tell us in the comment section. Maybe this point has not come out clearly what I wanted to mean. But there is a lot of economic disparity happening in the country and in Africa too, because you are struggling to build maybe your house using your sweat or money you've gotten from a facility, from a loan, and here is someone putting up rentals in the same place using money gotten without a sweat, without breaking a sweat. So you'll not be able to compete with this person, because obviously their money is not even earning interest. Their money is not being even taxed at some point, and you are here struggling to pay a loan, and you want to price your house, you want to price your apartment the best way, the market rates. But the market rates which are there, they are being distorted by these people who are coming with illegal money from maybe money laundering, from sometimes what happens in the Indian Ocean, and money coming into the economy, distorting the whole thing. So if you find yourself struggling to be able to pay this loan, the money you've used to build this house, you're not able to get the rate, you're not able to get a profit because of that challenge. There is also a big housing boom, and you'd wonder, how can a country which is struggling have a housing boom? That is quite interesting for economists. They should tell us what is happening. And these are, whether if this has happened to you, or if you've wondered what is happening, you can tell us in the comment section, because these were my honest observations. Some of them might not be backed by science, but I did observations. My observations that there is a lot of economic disparity happening in Africa and in Kenya as a country. Tell us in the comment section what you think about this. Thank you.